T minus 3, 2, 1, ignition.
What you know about this life? Yeah. Just relax, baby, get high. Yeah, you're on your way to the best night ever. No top on it, no top. We're out with the stars.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is your week 3 recap with your special guest, Dave Leonardo.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy to be on board and go through the recap with Michael.
We're gonna start out with some power rankings. I wanted to get like the most unbiased opinion I could find, and David was a part of like the original Best Night Ever group. If you didn't get that, that's why what we named our league after was that.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's the
Remember, we'd go Best Night Ever.
best night ever.
Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna do some roster checks, and then David's gonna give us some power rankings just based on roster. So we're gonna go through Nick Finley. I think you met Nick, right?
Yeah, I think I met Nick when I was visiting OSU one weekend.
All right. So
It looks like a great picture to put on his Tinder account.
it is.
It's
All right.
awesome.
So it's a 2 QB league. We use sleeper as our format, and then let's see, 2 QB, 2 running back, and then 1 flex, 2 wide receivers, tight end, and a defense. 8-man league, so teams look pretty stacked, but
Yeah.
I think you'll kind of. All right. So what's your thoughts on Nick Finley's team?
Well, I mean, obviously he's set in terms of his quarterback situation here. I mean, he's got 2 perennial MVPs, especially Rodgers. I love that. Big revenge year for him, so I'm sure he's going to come out hot. My stock is so low on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I feel like he has looked terrible. But, I mean, he had a big week last week, obviously, with the 100 yards. But we'll see if he continues going that. Honestly, my most exciting pick with him that he has is Travis Kelce. I'm sure he got that probably in like round 2 or 3. I think Kelsey's great, especially when you have like a really good tight end one like that. So I think solid.
I'll let you know, we do a 4-keeper league. So Kelsey, Wilson, Rodgers, and Chubb were his keepers. And then we draft after that.
That's good that he rolled those over.
Yeah.
I like Lockett too then. So that's like Lockett was a new ad for him?
Yeah.
All
Huge
right, good.
pick for him.
Yeah.
Except last game, 4 for 4, 31 yards.
Yeah, we'll be monitoring that injury situation closely for sure. Seattle's
Sure.
ass though. So
Yeah.
I'll throw that one at Connor and Thomas. Seahawks suck.
We got Mike Evans at his flex, and then I'll move forward to his this is his bench. So we got some decent players on the bench, but yeah.
Yeah, I like Henderson on the bench. Obviously, it'll be good when he's back. He's been looking like a good RB1. And then you can't hate the long game with Michael Thomas. We'll see if he plays, I guess. I mean, James has looked good in the offense. So if he comes back and returns to like 50% of the player he was, that could be huge for him.
So after looking at Nick's team, do you want to like rank them 1 out of 8, or do you want to like kind of roll through first?
Yeah, we can run through them, and then I'll try to work backwards. I'm like scribbling notes in terms of like the players they have, so hopefully I'll be able to like roll it back and
All
provide.
right, I like that.
I'm sure
This is unbiased as it gets, so this is what we needed. So we got Andrew. We got his little Tinder pick.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's a great deal. You have to do it.
Yeah. Okay, looking at Andrew's team, what's some first thoughts?
So I'm guessing he rolled out. Do the stars indicate anything, or is he just like putting those on?
That's his stars. He started them all out at 5 stars, and you can see DK. I mean, he had a good week last week, so he might go back up to a 4-star. Well, let's see.
Okay.
He kept Eckler, Eckler, Metcalf, AJ Brown, and J.K. Dobbins.
Ooh.
So right off the bat, J.K. Dobbins,
Andrew got last year, right? Wasn't he the one that had to take like the date?
yeah.
blow up to-
Okay, Andrew has gone last 3 years in a row, so you gotta you gotta give the man some advice.
I can kind of see why with him throwing in Danny Dimes as his QB2. That's a great pick, especially in an 8-man league. I feel like he could maybe go find himself a better quarterback to throw in there.
Right, did you hear that?
Yeah, I think that would maybe be one thing I'd advise. I mean, I feel like this dude's also getting hit with the injury bug because Eckler was hurt quite a bit last year. Like Chris Carson, you never know what he's going to do. I feel like he's always due to miss a couple games. And then obviously Dobbins going down does not help. How does his bench look?
So moving on to the bench, got Winston and Lawrence. Drafted Lawrence in the 3rd round, not bad. But Lawrence has been shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he also can't just get out of his own way in terms of some of these starting decisions.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, obviously Winston had a great week, but I feel like Hunt was, I think, RB1 this week.
Hunt's on his bench.
Yeah.
And then I think his first pick this year, or one of his higher picks, was Miles Sanders. So
yeah, Sanders looked good first 2 weeks. I mean, honestly,
Eagles line is kind of holding him back.
yeah.
Well, shit, no, look, 2 carries, 27 yards against Dallas on Monday.
I know he was running the ball well. They just didn't get it to him, but they were also getting the crap beat out of him.
Yeah.
We'll see. I feel bad, Andrew. I won't say anything. I'll hold my thoughts till the end. That's the other team. I don't want to jump anywhere.
All right, this is Cam. His
He's already
pictures are just
bumping up
epic.
with like best picture. Yeah, he's got best headshot. That's gonna bump him up a spot for sure right now.
Cam thrives off the Ryan Fitzpatrick vibe. Just
Yeah.
all right, here's Cam's team. So got some young QB at Joe Burrows. Pretty good.
What's the trade of the year?
Trade of the year was Adams. I traded him Adams last year, and he still has that nickname for him. I gave him. It was, let's see, he gave me Ridley and a 1st-round pick for Adams. So.
Oh wow, okay. Who'd you use the 1st-round pick on, Mike?
I ended up trading it for Derrick Henry, so it kind of got lost.
That worked out pretty well for you. I mean, obviously, I think I like his running back situation. I mean, with Kamara and Joe Mixon, like that's a very good 1-2 punch there. I love Joe Burrow too, so I'm super biased. I wouldn't say he's like
you're so high on him, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's been performing as like the greatest fantasy quarterback right now, but I like that connection he has with Chase. So they're going to continue to work that. Pretty sure they play the Jags this week too, so I'm sure they're just going to beat the crap out of them on Thursday night. Obviously, the wide receiver, Allen Robinson, I have him in a couple of my leagues. Like, he is so good.
What happened?
He just has no quarterback that can throw to him. So I feel bad. I'm kind of dropping stock on Allen Robinson. But I do like it so far. I think he's got a pretty solid team. Doesn't hurt to have Devontae Adams, who's arguably the best receiver in the league, as well as 2 very strong running backs.
He's got a decent bench. Benched Jamar Chase last week, but Josh Jacobs was one of his keepers, and that just kind of did not pan out.
Yeah, I mean, it hurt with Jacobs being out for sure. Has he been riding Chase on the bench a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's time to move Robinson to the bench.
I know, that's my word of advice. I think maybe we move Robinson out. We kind of got to ride that Jamar Chase to Joe Burrow connection. I am interested. No 3rd quarterback. I feel like there may be – that could be coming down – it could be an issue. I don't know what you guys have available in your fantasy like waiver wire, but maybe he's slow playing that. I like that approach. See what you can get in terms of extra bench players. Yeah, but I think it's good. I like that he has – I mean, obviously it didn't help that he had Higgins and Deontay Johnson out last week, but
and Judy, lost Judy early. So.
Yeah, Judy early. But it's pretty mid-pack tier team from what I've seen competitively. But like I said, he's automatically getting bumped up 1 shot at least because of the headshot.
All right, I like it. All right, so Bobby, you met Bobby when we were at T-Base.
Yeah.
So there's Bobby's Tinder pick. And moving on to his team. First thoughts.
Wow, I already think he has. I mean, him and Nick right now are battling out with strongest QBs. I think he's got arguable league MVP caliber Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen. I'm a huge fan of him. I was much part of my take, and whenever he's on, he's a beast. So I instantly am gravitating to this team for that. And obviously very strong wide receivers with Hopkins and Diggs and Thielen. That's an awesome 1-2-3. Who do you roll over from last year? I feel like it's got to be Hopkins, probably Diggs, Allen,
and Prescott.
I do
first
like
round
that.
Pick was Our first round pick was Montgomery, then Kittle.
Yeah.
So solid. Just ignoring the running backs, though, right? You just
Yeah.
cannot roll with that.
I mean, it's hard when you start a running back for the Bucks and Tom Brady outrushed every player on the Bucks team with his 12 yards last week. So we may need to be making some moves to that running back position. I do like David Montgomery. I think, he may start to turn it on this year. Kittle's obviously been starting off slow, had a good week last week. So we'll see, but definitely needs to solve that running back situation. Like Fournette is not going to be the move all year.
He's got Jamal Williams on his bench.
Yeah, Jamal Williams has looked good too. It's like that number 3. I mean, honestly, with him sitting on DJ Moore, who's not even getting time, like he definitely has some good pieces to maybe make a move for a running back in terms of getting one of these receivers.
That's who we just put on the trade block. I think Mostert was one of his first RB picks, and then just lost him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's not great for the brand for sure.
What do you think? What do you think about this Tampa Bay defense play against the Rams? You think that was the?
No, it definitely wouldn't have been my recommendation. I'm not a huge 2 defenses guy though. I usually, find my one defense, start them all week until I need to, fill them in during the bye or if they're absolutely miserable. I think the Bucs defense is going to be a good team, sustainable, and continue on. Obviously bad week, but
Rams. All right, fair enough. All right, so we got through Bobby's team. Moving on, yours truly.
Oh, there we go.
First thoughts. Let me hear them.
I mean, I do like the running back situation. Don't you have Derrick Henry on this team, or did you trade him?
No, I traded him. I went through so many trades, but my ultimate goal is Christian McCaffrey. I had to get him from Bobby, and then now he's out. But
yeah, and obviously with Barkley too, potential injury prone there. That's what last year. So I do think it's kind of a risk like that. I do like Antonio Gibson though. I mean, he's been playing pretty well. I know he broke off that large play last week, which probably saved you some fantasy points.
God.
Your touchdown.
You're gonna love Cam and I's matchup when we get to it. But my keepers were Gibson, McCaffrey, Barkley, and Tyreek.
Okay. I mean, Tyreek Hill is also wide receiver 1. Undoubtedly could easily end up being the highest scorer for wide receivers this year. Brady, though, has been a great pick. I know people are doubting his age, but I think he's right now he's QB1 in fantasy. He's on pace to break Peyton's touchdown record, 55 touchdowns.
It looks easy for him.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins as well has been playing super well. I think he's up there QB4 in some leagues, just in terms of the points. So it's a good play. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I would just be nervous about your running back situation, be my biggest concern.
Yeah. I was so pumped going into the season and then losing McCaffrey 2 games in.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that Zeke goes down so that Tony Pollard is just they finally get to let him go.
Yeah. So you're the quarterback whore in this league, apparently. Yeah, hold down 2 more. Have you been seeking out any trades with those guys? I think some of your boys could use a quarterback.
Yeah. We got we have Jared Goff on the waivers and Carson Wentz. It's bleak, but there's some QBs there.
No, I think it's a good team. Obviously got a lot of backup running backs too. I know
Yeah,
Gordon's
very
looking
average.
good. Yeah, he's splitting carries with Williams, which isn't, I think, ideal. I think they're just kind of hoarding each other's points.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they split it between each other week to week. But I think it's a pretty solid team, Mike.
Thank you. Appreciate that, David. All right, you gotta appreciate this one. Jacob's our
I like
two-time champion. You like the rings? So yeah,
do.
we do trophies, perpetual trophies. We have a loser's trophy and a winner's trophy with 20 years worth of plaques that we'll end up putting on, and we got rings for champions. So Jacob thinks that he was doing a Tom Brady pose, but he needs about 5 more.
Yeah, no. He's got time though.
Yeah. First thoughts.
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of, like I was saying, really good tight ends. I think I was hyping up Kelsey. I do like the Waller pick. I don't know if that was a keeper from last year. I'm guessing
That was
like
his first round pick. Let's see, his keepers were Mahomes, Justin Jefferson. Oh shit. Deshaun Watson. He had Deshaun Watson and Dalvin Cook. But Jacob's been the kind of guy that's just rode QB play. He's had Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson since he drafted them in 2019 and just rides the hell out of them. And he's won twice because of it. So
yeah. No, I think it's a good team. Honestly, he's got a good play in terms of having Madison, in terms of having that handcuff for Cook, who looked really solid this weekend. So it's nice that he'll be able to continue plugging him in as long as Cook's out. I think Jefferson's great. I'd be a little concerned about Kenyon Drake as my second running back. It's definitely not a preferred. And it looks like Sterling Shepard in the flex. I can't trust Daniel Jones at all for any wide receiver. So that would always make me nervous as well. I mean, it's been hit or miss. So those are the only things that I think I'd ping him on. I'd be interested to see if he's just leaving people on his bench that kind of could have snuck in there.
Yeah, he's had Cook, so he got lucky on Sunday. I was up early for market, but he had a night shift. He picked up Madison at 3:00 in the morning.
Oh, really? Good for him on that. Looks like he's got your counterpart with Javonte Williams. He's kind of some of your Melvin Gordon carries. I'm really interested in him playing the long game with Trey Lance. I just feel like that he can afford to have that dude in free agency and just try to go jump on him once they announce he's going to start. It looks like they're pretty confident playing Garoppolo for like 95% of the game. I do like the sneaky Deshaun Watson, throwing him on the IR. That could be, if he gets traded somewhere like the Dolphins, that could instantly become like QB1 for him and maybe bridge that gap. Teddy Bridgewater, which is probably my biggest knock on his team right now.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. Not only has he held Trey Lance on his bench, but it was his 4th pick this year in the draft. High, very, very high on Trey Lance.
Yeah, kind of a reach. But I think it's a good team. I think solid. There's a couple holes there maybe that he could plug with. Hopefully Mitchell coming back healthy as well as Dalvin Cook, and obviously maybe playing Javonte Williams, who could have a big half of big rest of the year.
Yeah, he's looking good. All right, so we're moving on to Connor. I like his little.
God, just a handsome devil, isn't he? So proud of him.
Yeah. Don't you just miss Connor? What a good guy.
I'm sure he was pumped watching Jalen Hurts throw those 2 picks this week. I'm sure he had a lot of fun doing that.
Oh, yeah.
So he got Derrick Henry from you, it looks like.
Yes. He went through Andrew and then to Derrick Henry's just been thrown around. That was a big trade at the end of 2020. Let's see. His keepers were. Let me get to Connor. Remember, his keepers were Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor, and Cam Akers. So Cam Akers on the IR right off the bat.
Yeah, that does hurt. But I think he's got 2 very two very solid wide receivers. Obviously, Godwin's been great so far this year, and obviously Cooper Kupp. I think
Crazy start to the year, right?
yeah, I think he's wide receiver 1 right now in fantasy. It's crazy. He's on like a blazing pace. It'll be interesting to see if he sustains it. But him and Stafford are clicking. I think they have like breakfast every morning together, which is just ridiculous. I didn't know that before I drafted Robert Woods in my league. So
well, Cam says that Stafford's racist, so that's kind of where we're at right now.
I'm actually down to start using that. I think he's got some really solid players at every position, like Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Jonathan Taylor's been playing well. Kind of weak with like his QB2. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts. I don't think he looked great against Dallas. Like, obviously, those stats got inflated because they were losing by so much. But I guess it doesn't matter. It's fantasy, right? All you need is stats. Kyle Pitts will be interesting to see if he kind of starts popping off. I know he's been playing a little slow, at least what I've seen.
Matt Ryan looks bad to start the year. Falcons' offense is slow.
Definitely not been helping him.
Yeah, Connor he had 2 first-round picks this last draft, and he took Najee Harris and DeAndre Swift. So you see he's benching Najee Harris. Just a lot of running backs. And like you talking about Jacob starting Kenyon Drake, you could feel the frustration that Connor might have in holding 4 running backs on his bench and no trade-off person.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Connor starts playing Najee Harris. I feel like he's got to be in the roster every week over DeAndre Swift. But yeah, it looks like this dude's hoarding running backs, which is always a good problem to have. I think running backs typically are going to get injured the most, so you may have some good trade value down the line, especially with like a Najee Harris. Cordell Patterson's actually been playing pretty well, like as a solid stat patter for fantasy in terms of like the number of receptions he gets. So I think he'll definitely be able to make some moves. I do like that he has Deebo Samuel as well. I think it just kind of shows that he is pretty deep at that wide receiver position, but I think Deebo Samuel's been playing well, and I'll be interested to see if he starts breaking into Connor's lineup moving forward.
Yeah, the IU thing in the beginning of the year is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know. He's like been – yeah. Oh, here we go.
Okay, we're so corny. We even got bro tanks for everybody, and Thomas won in 2019. Unfortunately, you can see the back of his shirt says "Got lucky once." Let's move on to T-Bay's team.
Well, I'm disgusted he has Herbert on the roster. But obviously, I think a good play with his QBs with Kyler. I'm guessing he kept Kyler, like Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen.
Yep. Yep. No, he didn't keep Keenan. He kept Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Zeke, and Jones. Those first 4 right there.
Yeah.
But look at this San Diego play he's got going.
I know. Yeah, I was about to say he's really relying on the Chargers week to week, which it looked good so far. Like, especially Mike Williams looks like, again, I think he was the top fantasy scorer for wide receivers this last week. He popped up.
He's 1 or 2 right now, so he's not crazy.
Yeah. I'm kind of low on Zeke personally. I do really like the Aaron Jones play. I think he's great. Very solid wide receivers. Like, I'm impressed in terms of Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, and Mike Williams. I think the biggest concern was, like you mentioned, maybe relying on the Chargers a little bit. There may be some need to diversify, but hey, if they keep winning games and keep putting up stats, like maybe it's not an issue at all. Maybe he can continue to ride this wave.
His team is called Herbert and the Boys.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Some solid bench players too. And Robinson was his first pick in the draft, and he's benching him as of now. So.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. He's got 2 really good running backs as well. In terms of Gaskins getting a lot of touches and same with James Robinson. Again, I think he's kind of shown that he has some really good weapons. I'm actually really impressed with Thomas's team. I think it's solid so far. I think the biggest knock that I really have on it is that reliance, like we mentioned, on the Chargers. But, hey, we may not see that as an issue long term. It'll be cool to see him take Odell Beckham off the IR and figure out who he wants to drop. OBJ looks good in that first game back to return, so I think that's only going to make Thomas's team even stronger for the rest of the league, unfortunately.
All right. The anticipation has been building. So now David is going to give us his unbiased as it gets power rankings. So this is truly what somebody who has no idea what your record is thinks about your team. Go ahead, David.
All right, we're going to start from bottom to top. I've gone through, I've really crunched the numbers, did a little research on my end. I'll give the ranking a quick little bullet on maybe some of my drivers to make this decision. And again, all decisions are final, so don't be in my messages or DMs like ripping me on this. All right, so we're going to start with drumroll. Number 8, Andrew. I feel like you're just kind of in a bad string of luck right now. Obviously, there's some injuries that aren't going your way. My concerns are I'm questioning the Daniel Jones QB decision. I think we need to maybe get away from Danny Dimes, but who knows? I could be wrong. I think there's also some improvement that may need to be made at the running back position. Obviously, Dobbins going down didn't help, but I'm concerned about a Miles Sanders long term.
All right, we got Andrew at number 8. Moving on to number 7.
Number 7 is the 2-time champ himself, Mr. Jacob Myers. Jacob, I like the keepers. I can't say enough. Obviously, being able to return Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, and Dalvin Cook. Obviously, you're active. You're making some moves, getting Madison in there, but I just can't help some of the off-season decision-making we made. Taking Trey Lance in the first round, not reining in our boy Deshaun Watson to make sure he was making good decisions. I'm just a little nervous for your team long term.
I like it. Jacob at number 7. Moving on to number 6.
Number 6, and I will say this is he got the bump I was talking about. So he could arguably be number 7, but it's Cam with the best headshot. I'm just a little concerned with the injuries going on right now. I do feel bad about that. You do have a good 3-headed monster, I would say, with Adams, Kamara, and Mixon. But again, I just think maybe it's an injury-prone team. Perhaps I'm reading into it wrong, but I think it honestly holds you back a little bit long term. All
right, on to number 5.
Number 5 is our host himself, Mr. Michael Sullivan. Really the big note I took is we just need everyone to get healthy and to stay healthy. Obviously, we think Christian McCaffrey should be the best player in the league. Barkley, if he can return to the level where he once was, again, that's a big bump, as well as Tyreek Hill playing up to what we expect from him. I think he does have some good value in the QBs. He's hoarding them, and so maybe he can make a move late to fill up some of his gaps, maybe at the running back position if we see these injuries continue to string along.
Right, myself at number 5. Moving on to number 4.
Number 4 is Nick Finley. I was impressed with his 2-headed monster that he has with Wilson Rogers. I think it's arguably one of the best QB combinations we have right now in this league. Like I mentioned, I'm a little low on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but I still think he has some monsters with Kelsey. Julio Jones, once he gets settled in, could start breaking off. I'm also extremely biased to the Bucs, so I love Mike Evans, and I think that may have played a part in why I put you this high.
Nick at number 4. Moving on to number 3.
Yeah, number 3, I have Bobby. I think he has the best wide receiving group in this league in terms of Hopkins, Diggs, DJ Moore, and Adam Thielen. I was impressed with that. I think Hill's going to start playing better. The 2 quarterbacks he have, Josh Allen, who's I think could possibly win the MVP this year, as well as Dak Prescott competing for it. Obviously, we have some concerns at the running back position. I'm not that concerned about Dave Montgomery. I think he's going to settle in, but we can't be starting any Bucks running back from here on out, Bobby. Like, we cannot do that. They're garbage. We can't figure it out. Like, it's a problem with me as a fan for the Bucks. So we need to maybe make some decisions there. Pull out Leonard Fournette. He can't be starting for us, and we'll ride the ship.
You got some trades for Connor, Bobby, if you want it. So moving on, we got Bobby at number 3. Moving on to number 2.
Number 2, we have my dear friend Thomas Bay. I think it's a great team. It's stacked. I can't say enough. Like, he's got it all. Kyler and Justin Herbert is great. I'm low on Zeke personally. That's just me. But I really think Aaron Jones and James Robinson are arguably 2 great running backs to have. My biggest note on this is I think we reiterated it. We're a little reliant on the Chargers. But maybe that's something we want to do this year. Maybe we want to give it a shot because that offense has looked great. I mean, they put up points, obviously, against the Chiefs. So maybe he can ride or die with that all year long.
Oh, God, David, you don't know how big you just made his head. All right, that leaves us one man at the top.
Yeah, Connor, congrats, man. I got you power ranked number 1. And really, I think the reason I had this was you have arguably the deepest team from what I've seen. And I think it's really through that running back position that you have. Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, keeping Najee Harris on the bench, we have some decision-making issues that we should start resolving, but I think that's going to be helpful for you long-term. I think you may be able to pet off some trades, sell some of these players high, and get some good value back from them because I think people are going to be begging you for some running backs down the road.
Oh my God. Connor was born and raised on My Manager in 2K, and this is what he lives for. All right, David, thank you so much. We're just going to go do a quick recap of what actually happened this week. And I'll give you the power rankings so far. So let's get to the league. All right, so right now, Connor is our number 1. He's 3-0. With his points for, or forced, I guess, is 496. So you got Connor right. Number 2 is T-Bay. So you got that right as well. T-Bay is 2-1. I did destroy T-Bay in week 1. I'll just put that out there. It was 171 to 99. So he has obviously come back strong since then. Myself at 3, 2-1. And just wait till you see my matchup this last week. So you had, I think you just had me and, or Jacob is at number 4. So obviously luck plays a role in the record, right? Jacob at 421 points forced is not the best. I guess he is better than all of these other guys, so he deserves to be in 4th. But in 5th, we have Nick Finley. So pretty close there. And then 6 is Bobby. And obviously you've noted multiple times what's holding Bobby back, and that could not be truer. After Bobby, we have Cam and Andrew. So you got pretty close on the last 2. Had a couple mixed up, but all in all, you were pretty damn accurate, which is very impressive from an unbiased opinion. So running through this last week, this is Cam and I. So final score 139.86 to 139.40.
God.
David, you have no idea how much this one hurt. So basically what happened was I had a really shitty week from McCaffrey, Hill, and Ridley, and Hawkinson. I was down big. Projected, around 110 points maybe. I had my 2 quarterbacks playing in the afternoon, and Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady just went ballistic. Cam was projected about 120, and I was projected about 143. So then we move into the Sunday night game, and he has Devontae Adams, and I have Robbie Gould. And when I tell you this came down to the last fucking play of the game, it came down to the last play of the game.
Yeah, he had like the 25 or 30-yard reception.
It was a 25-yard reception. We get a little bump up bonus at a 100-yard gain. So
Yeah.
that last drive, Aaron Rodgers threw one. He threw it was like a 25-yard pass on the first one too, put him over the 100-yard bump, and then he had that 25-yard reception to beat me by 0.46.
Wow.
That's one of the closest games we've ever had.
I think that's the Devonta Adams revenge game on you for
Yeah.
trade initially.
That was huge.
Yeah.
So like I said, Andrew cannot catch a break. I mean, huge week from Stafford. Connor, quarterbacks didn't play that great. But where Connor has been excelling is his running back play. Well, obviously, and his wide receiver play. Cooper Kupp going crazy and Chris Godwin. Connor has been pretty unstoppable so far this year at 3-0, and none of his games have been close. So poor Andrew said he's going to quit after four losses in a row. So we're praying that he can pull one off here.
Yeah.
Moving on to Nick and Jacob's game. This is where I'm talking about where like kind of luck plays a factor. So Jacob scores 124 points and gets the win, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if he's playing Andrew, Andrew gets a win this week. So record, it makes it a lot more fun based on like Cam and I's game, but it also gives you a little bit of luck to kind of play off of. Madison was obviously a huge pickup for him this last week. Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers played below par, I guess above par if we're talking golf. But yeah, basically it was a rough week for Nick. Even with Sterling Shepard scoring 2.6 points and Amari Cooper scoring 4.1, starting Kenyon Drake and Teddy, Jacob pulls out a win. So that was that. And then Bobby and Thomas. So you can see you were pretty high on Thomas, and you saw what happened in that Chiefs game. So you can see right here he's getting 30 from Herbert. He's getting 15 from Allen and 32.7 from Williams. Like that is huge. And you can see Bobby's team is very reliant on his QBs. Josh Allen scoring 40, and he still only manages 122 points. You're just not going to win games with Montgomery scoring 6.5 and Fournette scoring 4.9.
Yeah, and Hopkins obviously had an egg this last week.
Same with Diggs. I mean, like look at Josh Allen's stat line and Diggs. 6 for 10 for 60 yards, like just unfortunate for him. But yeah, Thomas Bay right now is about as big-headed as it can get. He's thinking he's gonna win this next year, and yeah, that's kind of where our league's at. And I really appreciate you coming on here and helping me out, man.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I appreciate it. Hopefully I didn't rub anyone the wrong way with my rankings, and hopefully I didn't make Thomas too full of himself as well. He'll come back down to earth soon. Herbert can't continue this, right?
No. All right, David. Let's see. I can at least stop the recording.